This is the one. I just have that feeling in my gut. I am about to buy a Rolex from an AD that I just met. Like many watch enthusiasts, I've walked into countless Rolex boutiques, and maybe it's because I'm wildly optimistic, or maybe I'm just delusional, but most of the time I think I'll find the right AD. I'll say the perfect thing, and maybe they'll just sell me the watch today. Well, this is that time. Now, I kind of need to set the stage here. In today's world of buying watches, you can't just waltz into a Rolex boutique and expect to buy a watch. In fact, most of them are practically empty. But because I travel for work quite a bit, and from time to time I do find myself in Europe, I can just never resist the urge to walk into the boutique. I mean, you never know, right? I happen to be in this tiny country in the middle of Europe called Liechtenstein. This country is small enough to walk across, which is exactly what we were doing. We were filming a video and our plan was simple. Get the video filmed in 4 to 6 hours and then drive as fast as you can back to Munich, drink some beer before flying back to the States. But while we're filming this video and I'm walking down the street, I notice a Rolex boutique. Two Rolex boutiques in a country small enough to walk across. Wild. As soon as we finished filming, I looked at my guys and I was like, you know I have to walk into those stores. I promise I'll be quick. I know the answer I'm gonna get, but I can't forgive myself if I don't just try. I mean, after all, I am kind of delusional. The first one we walked into was really friendly and kindly told me the answer that I already knew. No, we don't have any pieces available. But he was super friendly and he told me, why don't you walk down the street? We have a sister store and who knows, they might have something. Now that was the tiny little sliver of hope that will drive a watch enthusiast absolutely nuts. And I had to know, are they gonna have any watches available? So I told my guys, I promise you, this is the last one. I will not ask to walk into any more stores. We're just gonna go down the street. We have nothing to lose. It'll take 5 minutes tops. We all know the answer we're gonna get. Let's just go peruse, have a good time, and then we'll boogie. Soon enough, we were inside this other boutique, gazing at some day-dates, some Tudors, even a couple of Pateks that they had on display. I was having a really great conversation with the sales associate about the watches that they had to offer, which is when I dropped the question. Do you have any GMT Master 2s? An Explorer? A Submariner? No. She was kind enough to let me try on the Rolex two-tone day-date that they had on display, and she took some time to admire the Royal Oak that I was wearing at the time. I was also wearing Crocs, tube socks, shorts, and a very sweaty thrifted t-shirt that my wife bought for me. I didn't exactly look like the ideal customer. I kind of looked homeless. Which is probably why the next thing she asked me was, how did you acquire that Royal Oak? I was able to explain to her that earlier this year I was actually in Switzerland, in Le Brassus, at the Audemars Piguet Founders House, which is when I got offered this watch. It's a really cool story, and I think it gave me an opportunity to show her my love and appreciation for watches. She then went on to ask me what I do for a living, and at this point, a lot of questions are coming at me. And typically, when people ask me what I do for a living, specifically within a watch store, I try to be as vague as possible. I mean, I don't really know what a Rolex AD is gonna think of a guy that runs a YouTube channel and makes silly videos on the internet. In my mind, I don't feel like I'm the perfect customer. But I kind of have nothing to lose at this point. She's already told me that she's not gonna sell me any watches, and I'm about to leave this country and probably never come back. So I just explained to her that we run a YouTube channel with 10 million subscribers, and we're filming a video about walking across your country in these blue Crocs. She was really kind and asked a little bit more about the YouTube channel and apologized for not selling me my dream watch. But as we were walking out the door, slightly disappointed, I looked at Isaac and Dave and I just said, man, I think I could convince her to sell me a watch. So I told them, let's walk to the right, down the street. Our car is to the left, but we'll circle back. And when we come back, I'm gonna walk into that store and I'm gonna convince this AD to sell me a watch. Well, lo and behold, as we're walking back, there she is, standing outside, waving at us. And as we're getting closer, I'm just getting this feeling in my stomach, like, what's going on? Why is she standing outside and why is she beckoning us back? And as we approach, she leans in, she kind of looks around and she quietly says, would you like to come back into the store? I'm like visibly shaking at this moment. And as we're walking back into the store, I look to Dave and Isaac and I'm like, am I about to buy a Rolex from this lady? Holy smokes. We sit down in the display room, she pours us some drinks, and she goes into the back before coming out. White gold sub, Explorer 2, and an Explorer. All beautiful watches, all definitely on my list to get. But one of them I just couldn't leave without. A 36mm Rolex Explorer, reference 124270. I love this watch. And the sad thing is it's not even for me. I bought this watch for my wife, but it is an absolutely gorgeous watch that I know is gonna last a lifetime. Now, I've walked into probably over 100 Rolex stores from LA to Dallas to New York to Tokyo to Paris to Switzerland to Ireland. You get the point. I've been told no more times than I can count, and I know how disheartening it is. I've been on a list for over 3 years. I've even bought lower level watches from my AD just to hopefully move up on the invisible list. But there's this thing about the pursuit of those grail pieces. When someone tells me no, it's like throwing fuel on the fire. I just want it even more. My advice to other watch enthusiasts and collectors who've gotten pretty down and maybe even thought about settling for a lower level piece just to hopefully move up on that list is don't give up. You might just walk into an AD tomorrow and say all the right things and get offered a watch.
Then get the clink.
Sorry. I actually just can't believe that. I'm walking out of the store with a Rolex. I just never imagined this actually happening. I always go into the stores and I figure that Isaac and Dave hate me because I'm like, I gotta stop real quick. And we all know the same answer is gonna be given. No, we don't have anything, which is actually what they said originally. And then we walked away. And then we came back and she was standing outside waving at us saying, come on in. Crazy. I can't believe it.